everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Got a special guest in the building.
Trouble Man.
Yeah.
Yes,
What's
sir.
going on? What's going on?
First of all, happy belated birthday.
Yeah, happy
to
belated.
Man,
you.
thank you.
Do you
I
feel
appreciate
older,
that.
sir?
I feel wiser.
Well,
I can't believe it's been. This is the 15th album.
no.
Nah,
I was
hell
gonna say they're
nah.
releasing his
It's the 10th
15th studio album.
15,
on the top of this. I was like,
15
damn.
sounds.
I mean, if you count all the
Mixtapes
mixtapes and everything else,
yeah.
I
maybe.
guess so.
Compilations,
It's
maybe.
probably more than 15 if you count all that.
It's 15 years. It's 15th anniversary of trap music, and it's the 10th album.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being brushed up on your shit. I
I
appreciate that. You're
was
such
saying, it
a
says right here,
phenomenal
T.I.
journalist.
Releasing his 15th studio. I was like, damn, that's
No,
a lot of albums.
10.
Well, you know, Ryan Burgundy read whatever they put in front of him. You know what I'm saying?
Why does an artist of your magnitude need to be signed to a major label? Would that pick now?
Well, what do you mean by need?
Uh-oh.
Okay, well, I don't want to say need. Then.
I mean,
Partnership.
just to be quite honest with you, it's a distribution deal. You know what I'm saying? And I look at Epic more so as a partner.
Got you.
You dig what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I compensate them to fulfill a need in my infrastructure.
Because you
Yeah,
look Columbia.
marketing.
Columbia was the same deal, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all, you know what I'm saying? It's all like a P&D distribution, ownership of masters kind of deal.
Got you. That's what I meant. Because I'm like, somebody of your magnitude don't need to be
No,
signed.
I mean,
to
but you know,
nobody.
but to be honest with you, it's all about who you like to partner with to conduct. Either you hire people, you know, that are independent, like vendors, to do your marketing and radio promo, or you can get with, you know, an infrastructure that's
whole
already
machine.
in place. Yeah, you know, and I chose
like-
to do that.
It's like putting out a book. You could put it out independently, or
Sure.
you could sign a deal with
You
a
can sell it out your
publishing
trunk if you
company.
want to.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You can hand it.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you want certain levels of marketing and other things, you know, you partner with somebody that you know can consistently get it done.
So that's the purpose major labels serve in 2018.
Yeah, marketing. It's definitely marketing, radio promo.
Now, why is it called the Dime Trap?
It's the 10th album,
10th.
and it's the evolution of trap
It's
music.
the 15th. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, listen, Yee.
And we see you did a trap museum.
Trap Music Museum.
Now, talk to us about this museum. I tried to make
Yeah.
it, but I wasn't invited.
Yeah, but that's not true.
And
That's not
Charlamagne
true.
said he was going. He was in Atlanta.
Hey,
and then
man.
didn't
I was, but I didn't know it from 6 to 9. I thought
I mean,
it was
man,
during
we
the
was
day.
there all night. We was there all day and all night, man, for real. Just to be honest with you, 6 to 9 is just like, you know, those are the structured albums.
Gotcha.
But you know, we bled into the midnight hour.
Oh, I left early. I was in Atlanta for 5 hours.
Man, what you were down there doing?
I did the Ride conference, and then
Okay.
then after that, I went over to Edgewood.
Okay.
Go in to kick it at Killer Mike's barbershop real quick.
Right on.
Get
Killer
some-
Mike was there. How did you?
He was at the Trap Museum?
Yeah, it was at the Trap
Oh.
Museum. The
Everybody
Trap
was there.
Music Museum.
Trap Music
Trap
Museum.
Music
Yeah,
Yes.
and, Trap Museum. You know, that's something, you know, altogether different.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we had a ball. It was, you know what I'm saying? I'm real proud of the reception. And it's to celebrate all the most significant contributors to the culture, man. And I mean, because we had, you know, a lot of back and forth about who did what and what. So I just felt like, you know, it'd be best to just, you know, offer the experience and you know, celebrate the culture first
That's when you know a
in
nigga
our
rich.
own voice.
Why?
Because he ain't going back and forth with who started trap music. I'm just going to open up a museum and
gonna
show
lay it out for
y'all.
you.
Trying to do it myself.
And show y'all.
I mean, you know, but celebrate everybody else who was involved as well, though. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, that's a lot of time, man. We spend so much time bickering about the minutiae of things that the big picture is missed. You dig what I'm saying? Like the big picture here, man. You know what I'm saying? We all came from selling crack in the ghetto, and we have turned that into something positive, and changed the course of living for our families for forever.
Because truth be told, you can go back and say UGK was trap music.
mean,
You know, they didn't label
absolutely.
it that, but
I mean, absolutely. I mean, well, actually, you know, Pimp C say they make country rap tunes. Now, that's documented.
yeah,
That's what he say.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody kind of like had their own, just like Lil Jon and them had crunk music. You know what I'm saying? There was some snap music. There was like, it was all, people kind of coined their phrases for their own subcultures. And mine just so happened to be trap music. You know what I'm saying? And it made it here, thanks to the contributions of so many.
but now it's like EDM or some shit. They saying it's trap or whatever.
Yeah, you know, and they got a Latin trap, you know what I'm saying? But see, the thing that makes trap music, I think, so relevant and why it reaches so many people and why it's so diverse is because, like, drugs are synonymous with success in our society. Like, it's synonymous with how to get you your first little boost of success, and synonymous with, some of the things you engage in when you are successful.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? So as long as drugs will have a relevance in society, there will be a trap.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as there is a trap, there will be trap music to some degree.
The biggest
but can you
trap in
see
the
it?
world is America.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pharmaceuticals, the opiates. I heard that the motherfucker who made Oxycontin is now, he made billions off Oxycontin. And will you believe this motherfucker is now introducing a drug to the market that gets you off of opiates?
Makes sense.
Wow.
You gotta be one of the smartest people. I'm gonna get you,
Why not?
and then I'm gonna charge you for the drug to get you
Hey
off it.
man, if that ain't trapping, that's good trapping.
That's crazy.
That's good trapping.
Now, what can you see in
Yeesh.
the Trap Music Museum?
Man, everyone has exhibits. Everyone has exhibits. And these exhibits kind of suit the personality of the person. I have my own exhibit. Jeezy has his own exhibit. Ross has his own exhibit. Gucci got his own exhibit. Chainz got his own exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Thugger, Future, Migos, Lucci.
So they put their own stuff in there that they want to put in there, or
Some people did contribute artifacts. You know what I'm saying? Lucci gave us a jersey off his first video. I think it's some Louboutin. You know what I'm
Two
saying?
Chainz get a car, right?
2 Chainz gave a car from the trap
The
house.
pink car.
Let me see here. I think I gave a lot of my stuff. You dig what I'm saying? But I don't want to ruin it for you, man. Just pull
How
up.
long is the museum there for people that want to go?
As long as we want it to be there.
Because I heard 45 days.
As long as it was sustained success, you know what I'm saying, it'll be open. I ain't rushing off to go nowhere, but I ain't gonna come out of pocket for so much. If y'all want it to be open, you should come support it.
How would you explain it to somebody if somebody said, "Oh, y'all glorifying, drug dealing or celebrating the drug culture"? How would you explain that?
We're not glorifying it. We're celebrating the fact that we survived it, that we overcame it. That's just like, if you're an old Vietnam War vet, you dig what I'm saying? And they make a museum about the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? Like, you're not really glorifying murder.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're not glorifying, going into a country and killing strangers for no reason. That's not what you're glorifying.
Mm-hmm.
You're just celebrating the fact that you survived it.
Right.
Because so many lives were lost, so many families were destroyed, and we survived this. We overcame it, and we made the best out of it by taking these experiences, setting them to music, and creating a new standard of living for our families for forever. And that's our right to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because that was our pain and our suffering, and it didn't break us. And I think how we celebrate that is our business.
One of my favorite songs of yours is "Still Ain't Forgave Myself." I love that record. Have you forgiven yourself for the things that you may have done that directly or indirectly hurt people?
Nah, I haven't. But what I have done is made conscious efforts to try and do just as much good, to bring about just as much hope and prosperity as I have pain. That's why, you know what I'm saying, like, that's why the Buy Back the Block initiative is so big for me in my community, and has been ever since I came out. Me and my uncle, New Finish Construction.
Homes,
New Finish Construction, we did like 67, 68 homes. That was before the market crash. Then I was like, yo, this ain't really my primary source of income. I ain't got to, I don't have to, I don't really have to tough this out with you guys. I'm gonna go and get back to being an entertainer here, You know what I'm saying? But even now that the market has restabilized, I see it. It's kind of doing the same thing all over again.
All right. So
it all becomes a cycle. You know what I'm saying? You just want to stay fluid and liquid, as they say. Whenever a crash happens, you know what I'm saying? When it's blood in the streets, as they say on Wall Street, when it's blood in the streets, you can buy it all up. You dig what I'm saying?
Hold it and then wait to go back up.
That's why they say cash you can. That's that rainy day they were talking about. When they say save something for a rainy day, that's the rainy day they were talking about. I never knew when this rainy day would come. Then the market crashed. Boom. Everything for sale. That's the rainy day. You know what I mean?
You was early on all that though. Even with new finished homes, like because the point of it was build nice houses for low income families. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, man. The point was what we started doing was buying crack houses. I started out buying houses that I used to sell crack in my old neighborhood, and you know we buy them, rehab them, refurbish them, and put families in them. You know, sometimes we maintain ownership of it and kind of like rent it out to Section 8 people, or so on and so forth. But I saw that in a matter of 2-3 years, a house that I had bought and totally refurbished was back a crack house again.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And that kind of, internally, that just kind of like, man, it deflated me a little bit. Like, man, damn, you know, no matter how much good I try and do, it's still like the same shit.
But if you rent it, you could see who's in there, make sure they doing good, and if they not, get them up out of there.
Yeah, man, you could do all that, man. You could maintain real, like, close eye on them. You could do that for $800 a month.
Yeah, that's how
you can. You can. Yes, you can. You keep a real watchful eye on them.
Damn right.
And receive your $800 a month in
when
pieces.
Renting out a house, there's
I got
nothing you can do.
right now.
When you
I
own
get
a
paid
house
next week.
and you try to make it really nice, if you're renting it out, you have to assume that it's gonna get, you know.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a certain amount of wear and tear, man. You know what I'm saying? You build that until your number. But you know, that eats into your profit, and it's such a small margin. Like, you know, I come from like, you know, dope money. You know what I'm saying? So we used to like doubling and a half on our money. You know what I'm saying? Like, real business ain't like that. You do a real business deal and you see you don't get but like 15% profit. You're like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? So that's a little bit of the rush that, you know, a former drug dealers kind of got to get themselves out of, expecting so much so soon. You know what I'm saying? When a motherfucker spend $1,000, this supposed they expect to make $2,500. You dig what I'm saying? But now you invest $1,000 and you'll get $1,250. Good sound. That's a good sound. A good return on your money. That's a good sound investment. You dig what I'm saying? So I think, you know what I'm saying, it's things like that we have to kind of sink into when we doing business.
Now the Dime Chap, you have Dave Chappelle. On there playing the voice in your head. How did that even come about?
Man, Dave and I, man, we have like these epic, legendary evenings every time we link up. I think, you know, I as a fan, I just kind of like was going to his shows, and you know, I go backstage, and you know, I'm like, hey man, what are you doing after? We're going over here. We're gonna kick it. And so I go, and then it end up like a 5:30, 6:30 in the morning thing. And, you know, the next day, I was like, man, did that happen last night? You know what I'm saying? And so maybe 5 or 6 times of those in. One of them was actually when he did his residency here at Radio City. We had a phenomenal evening. Then I think the last one was the Roots Picnic in Philly. So during that time, you know, we going from club to club. Or should I say bar to bar. We don't really go to clubs, you know what I'm saying? A little hole in the wall, shotgun bars and shit. But anyway, so I played him the album, like 5-6 songs off the album. And then the next day, he was like, yo, the shit you played for me was dope. I was like, shit, well, how about we meet up and like, you know, I want you to kind of like, you know, put it in perspective for me. And so, you know what I'm saying? He said, shit, I don't need an excuse to come to Atlanta. I'm on the way. So he came to the city and we locked in the studio, and you know what I'm saying, we just kind of just documented the conversation. You know what I'm saying? There was some very eloquent moments of perspective there, and then there was just some conversation from time to time.
Have you always looked at him as the voice in your head?
Yeah, he says a lot of shit that I think. Absolutely. Yeah.
People were so mad. I went to that Radio City, those shows.
And why were they mad?
No, I'm just saying, like, I remember reading reviews after, because, you know, obviously, like, you can't bring your phone in, record it, because you don't want things taken out of context.
Right.
But there were certain jokes that he had that I might think were funny, but politically.
Hey, man, but see, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. You can't expect no comedian to be politically correct. Right. Because at that point, it stopped being funny. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to laugh at the shit that you ain't supposed to laugh at.
What about
that's how you
musically?
think through it. What about music?
Like, do you think about political correctness with your music now?
Nah, absolutely, I do not. And if I did, you know, it wouldn't feel the same. The authenticity would be compromised at that point.
That's why I come with a parental advisory explicit lyrics stick.
Absolutely. And then you got to think about it, man. Artists like music, like people who do music, like this is how I felt at the time when I made the song. You know what I'm saying? you can't go to holding me the shit that I did, you know what I'm saying, in the studio 10 years ago, because, you know, in that moment, how I felt is what I said. And I think that people who go through a similar moment, when they hear it and experience it, they relate to it. That's why it resonates. And if you remove that from the art, then that's like taking the soul out of it. You can't really do that.
And like you said, it's a moment in time. Like people I see, sometimes people try to hold Jay-Z to who he was.
Yeah.
Like Big Pimpin' lyrics don't apply to Jay-Z.
Absolutely.
Like we know this.
Absolutely. You got to, now if you are in that phase of your life and that's what you're doing, you play that record right now. You don't play 444. That ain't for you yet.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You got to wait till you evolve to that moment in life. I think that's what music is for. That's the beauty of it.
What are your expectations musically now?
Expectations?
Like, it's a different game. It's more streaming. It's a different feeling than before.
I mean, I don't understand by the expectations.
He want to know, do you care about selling records, I guess.
I mean, man,
Now,
I ain't really,
that's part of it, though.
I ain't really in it for the money. Everybody, all of us want to be, we just want to be considered dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the money gonna come. You know what I'm saying? I've made enough money to know how to let it make me more money.
Right.
So I ain't really tripping off of that part of it, but we all in this shit for a certain level of, you know, success, a measure of you know, acknowledgement. Yeah, that shit dope. That's really, I take that.
But don't you think you certified at this point?
Absolutely,
right?
but shit, I want to be dope for the rest of my life.
Right. And the bar is high for you already anyway. It ain't like you could just put anything out.
But is the bar high? Do you look at
For
some of these
T.I.
rappers now and you're like,
I mean,
No, the bar for T.I. personally for himself is high.
I compete with my old shit. Like the last thing I put out, I just want to make the album of my career every time I make one.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I just mean like as far as my craft, you know what I'm saying? It's like I just want to be considered to have evolved. You dig what I'm saying?
What was the last one? Us or Else? That was the last solo?
Nah, that ain't really even a solo. That was a compilation kind of. It was, you know
Okay.
The last one was Paperwork.
Okay, gotcha.
The last one was Paperwork.
Does somebody's personal life affect how you look at their music? Like we were discussing Kanye earlier, right? And statements that he's made.
He's
but
still
then
on the
people love
bullshit.
the song.
You
with him
tried.
a little pump. But then
tried.
you hear him say things
He's
and
still on
wear a
the
MAGA
bullshit,
hat. But then you're like,
I talked to him the
people
day
wear
before.
Yeezys. Mm-hmm.
I talked to him the day before.
He put the hat back on.
I talked to him the day before. We didn't talk anything about that. We were just, you know, just having homeboy discussions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like real normal. Like I could tell he had been to Chicago type shit. You dig what I'm saying?
So you thought he was back.
I was optimistic.
Here's the thing: we got to stop falling for this shit over and over.
Man,
Like it's the same old trick every single time.
I don't think it's a trick.
What is
I
a
think
trick,
that's
though?
how he
It's
feels.
just like whenever if he got an album coming out, he gonna do something to say something shocking that's gonna get everybody talking, and that's that.
I think if that was the case, he would see how much that didn't work before.
He sold 20,000 last time.
Well, this album didn't even come out. When it
No,
was-
he ain't even put this one
I
up.
don't think that by the measure of Kanye of himself, that didn't suffice in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if that was the case, he would say, but this is what, you know, kept me from achieving, kept me from doing what I felt I should have done. This is the only thing that kind of tarnished that. Why would I go do that again if my intention was to succeed?
But you let
believe
people
it. Clearly he
down.
believes
You
it.
let a lot of people down just with that because, we want Kanye to be.
Well, see, that's the first thing. You can't want Kanye to be anything but Kanye. You understand that? And as long as Kanye being Kanye, then you get to step back and estimate whether or not that is what you want to support or represent. You dig what I'm saying? But you don't want a motherfucker to be a certain way just because you want him to be that way. You know what I mean? That's
I think
dangerous.
people thought he
I
was
think,
a different
yeah.
person.
Because he's like back in Chicago.
Niggas
like
just
you
wanna
said,
wear
you
his
spoke to
shoes
him.
Jump.
jump,
guilt-free,
jump
man.
to conclusions. We've been jumping to
Jump
conclusions.
to conclusions.
I had no expectations of anybody. I take what they give me day by day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I take what you give me day by day.
Now we got certain
I
expectations.
have we have
we don't,
expectations for you.
You put
T.I.
on
I would
the Trump
never
hat. We gonna be the
expect you
same
to
way
do
in
that.
your ass like we on Kanye.
Man, I ain't
We don't
finna do
expect
that,
it.
but I might do something else. You know what I mean? That ain't me, But it's something I might do. You be like, man, damn, man, Tip, I ain't think you'd do that. Well, damn, shit, me neither.
Is there anything you can do to surprise yourself at this point?
Ah, man. I kind of roll with the punches and prepare for anything at this point. I'm kind of prepared for just about anything at this point.
You've evolved so much though.
Yeah.
Even the hothead tip, I think that was the biggest thing that would get you in trouble. Just the fact that tip would go from 0 to 60 sometimes.
I mean, more like 160. But the thing, I mean, I think that and that's another thing, man, that I can kind of see that has changed in me. I kind of like ask myself, or I kind of measure the level of importance of a situation by how long it will matter to me. Like, will this shit matter next year? Okay. Will it matter next month? Will it matter next week? Okay, let's find something else to do. You know what I'm saying? You obviously, you ain't got enough. That's why I do so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I stay busy, so I ain't got time to, like, submerge myself in the bullshit. Because there's enough out there to keep you distracted if you want to.
100%.
So you got to stay busy, stay focused.
But you got some great moments for the biopic, though.
My shit gonna be lit. You hear me?
You got some great
Bobby
moments
Brown ain't got
for the
shit on
biopic.
me. You hear me? I ain't bullshit. No disrespect to Bobby, but man, my shit was, hey, whew.
You ain't throw Janet Jackson out of the room naked though.
I damn sure didn't. I don't know if I'd have did that. I don't know if I'd have did that. You know what I'm saying?
What is the T.I. biopic?
Bobby ain't never swung on a boxing champion though.
Hey,
That's true.
I mean, standoffs with the police, LAPD. You know what I'm saying? Talking to suicide attempts off of buildings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just all that kind of stuff. Oh, I pulled a lady out of crash,
You did, yeah.
out of a flipped over car.
This is
The
crazy.
day after the LA standoff.
Mm-hmm.
The very next day, off of Crenshaw, car flipped over in front of me. I pulled a lady out.
You're like a superhero.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, still being here right now after them gun charges. Being here.
Yeah, that's
Period.
another one. That's another one.
Do you ever just chuckle to yourself sometime like, God damn?
I
I done
mean,
lived-
I wipe my brow. I don't do much chuckling. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a clean $8 million. A clean 8.
that you had to spend on that case?
What?
Wow.
And that's not
God
including how much you
damn.
lost.
Man, listen, man. That was a clean 8. A clean 8.
Damn.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
lawyer fees,
and everybody
bail.
talk about he snitched. I need some money back if I snitch. Shit. That was a clean $8 million.
I never understood. I never understood the snitching thing. I was like, who the hell would you snitch on? There's no such thing as a private snitch.
Yeah, they don't motherfucker don't care nothing about me snitching. And if I did it, they can't wait to broadcast it.
$8 million. Do you ever think about that money? That's not a loss though.
You got it back.
But it's way more than that. Think about that. He lost that, and then
Then the
whole
money that I
time he
couldn't
didn't do no
get.
shows, no work.
I'm talking about all of the
Lost
shit that they,
endorsements.
from all of the time they made me pay for, I had to pay a outside service to follow me around and monitor me. I had to pay for round the clock security. They made me build a jail, and not really build one, but I couldn't leave my house, and I had to pay a motherfucker that didn't report to me about my comings and goings and who's coming to see me and so on and so forth. All of that shit, man. All that shit, man, was.
I even heard you had to give money back for endorsements, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I gave no money back.
You just.
Oh,
I ain't getting no
man.
money back now.
Now that we're not continuing the deal, I'm not expecting what you owe me, but we're not gonna get no money back.
Yeah.
No,
Is
that's
that
a different kind of pain.
You have to,
Have to
return
give
that
back some money?
It's
No, man, come on, let's work this
I
out.
think it was with Remy or somebody. I think.
I don't think I gave no money back. We did end the deal. Well, actually, you had Chevrolet at one time. See,
God
you got to think about which time. You know what I'm saying? Because I
There's just
fucked
a
up
few
a couple
different
times.
I fucked up a couple
Couple
times. I messed up
times,
a couple
man.
times.
I fucked up a couple times.
Not
It
too
was
many
like
people can
acts.
bounce back the way you did though.
I mean, just, due to the grace of God and the support of the people. You know what I mean? I think a lot of that has to do with, the underdog story. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not good to get too big.
Oh, that's a fact.
See, that's what happened to Kevin Hart. See, he getting too big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
People
not
don't
good
like
to
that.
get too big.
That's
you know,
funny
you
you
got
brought
to,
up Kev because
you got to find a way to, still maintain that underdog status.
that's what Kev said. Kev said people like the rise,
Yeah.
they like the fall,
and they like
the comeback.
There you go.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? So I was able to kind of manipulate that shit for a little while, along with kind of prison doing it for me. So it was a gift and a curse.
So how do you stop yourself from getting too big? Like you say with Kev, like what is Kev supposed to do?
I mean, some people go away, like Dave Chappelle. He just went away. You know what I'm saying? If I get too big, pull out. Whoa, wait a minute. Stacked up enough money. Let's hold out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you come back.
Are you planning this biopic?
Am I planning it? I'm actually I'm writing my biography, and I feel from the biography, I have the biopic. It's just so much.
So much.
It's so much, man. Because I would like to go back into like my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the shit that I did from the time I was 13 to 19. That shit, that was epic. Like I thought about like doing like a Everybody Hate Chris kind of version.
Like, give us one story.
Man, okay, I bet. All right, so
Is the statute of limitations up on this?
Yeah, he said 13,
absolutely,
man.
absolutely. I was a juvenile when this shit happened.
Okay.
Okay, so my homeboy Doug always had a car, and it was a group of us. I never like really had my own car at the time. I was like 15 years old. I had a house though. My mama and boyfriend, he told me if I gave him $400 a month, I could keep this house that he had to keep the junkies from staying in it, right? So, okay, we had this house. So every time anybody wanted to skip school, anybody wanted to do anything, they came to my house. So we all used to be over my house chilling. One of my homeboys, C-Rod, wanted to go pick up a girl. He ain't had no license, but he drove my homeboy AK car. Anyway, they go get the girl. They driving back. C-Rod get pulled over by the police. Okay, now mind you, he's in a car. It's called a Pontiac 6000, okay? This is an aluminum motor. You know what I mean? Motherfucker will run hot. It's not the most reliable car in the world.
All right.
But C-Rod don't want to stop for the police. So he hit it. The car goes nowhere. You dig what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So they coming back, man. They get out the expressway. They get like down to the corner of my house with the police following behind them. C-Rod put the car in neutral, hop out the car and run. So all the police running after C-Rod. My homeboy Matt Boney and the girl that was in the car, they walked back down to the house. So goddamn, we like, yo, where's C-Rod at? Man, he took the police home one, man. He on foot in the woods. My homeboy Doug say, where the car? And then he say, man, the car down there on the corner. And Doug say, I'm going to go get the car so if C-Rod get away, they won't have no evidence. No, don't do that, bruh. Don't do that, bruh. So Doug get out, man, you know what I'm saying? He walk, and we all in the front, in the window, watching Doug walk down to the car, you know what I'm saying? He get down there, get in the car. He get in the car, pull the car down, past the house, and you just see the police swarm in on Doug, like 15 cars. Whew. So they pull Doug out the car, put him in the back seat. Then you see him pull C-Rod out the woods, throw him in the back seat. C-Rod say he was in there, he get in the back seat of the car, he huffing and puffing. He look over, see Doug. How the fuck you get in here? Hey, man, so, you know, we waited till they got down, man. They called back to the house, man. We laughed at that nigga Doug for a long time.
So you need like a Netflix series.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You gotta
So,
unpack all of this.
like some shit, like, man, we had hundreds of those stories.
The fact that you had a house at 15.
That's
we had
crazy.
hundreds
Crazy.
of those stories. We have hundreds of them. That's what we kept a house. Like I stayed at my mama. I got out of my mama's house when I was 15, 14 years old. Somebody told me one day, you live under my house, you stay by my I'm gone.
I got my own.
Oh, you live in my house, you abide by
you
my
live in my
rules.
house, you abide by my
Yeah, yeah,
rules.
yeah.
I'm like, man, you know what? That sounds fair. I'm out of here. And I go back, like when I get locked up, and then I have to have a guardian. Then that was my punishment. I had to stay home. You know what I'm saying?
How do your kids do it when they hear all these stories and be like, Dad, you was really wild?
I remind them that I didn't have my necessities taken care of.
Right.
I had to get out there and fend for myself. You know what I mean? I wanted new shoes. I had to hustle up and buy them. I wanted, dinner. I had to hustle up and get it. I didn't ask my mama for money. I went and gave my mama money. And I just remind them how different it was in other aspects. And you can't ever assume all the luxuries of an adult or all of the benefits of an adult without assuming the same amount of responsibility. And as soon as they're ready to assume their responsibility, then I back up off on them. They just know not to come ask me for shit.
Which one is the worst?
But
of you?
advice, you know what I mean? You say which one is the worst of me?
Yeah. Which one is the one that I gotta watch him because that's the trouble man.
They
right
take
there.
turns. They take turns. You know what I mean?
And the daughters are dating now, got boyfriends.
Whoa,
How do you deal with that?
What do you mean? Wait a minute.
Well, that
Let's
is
get back to
social
the
media.
first question.
Which one is the worst? of you?
Jesus
Yes.
Christ, you're bombarding me with reality right now. Man, King Hell, and Damani is King, Damani, Deja.
That's it. It's all of
This
them.
is all of them, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And Neek, but Neek has assumed her responsibilities as an adult. You dig what I'm saying? So it ain't really much I can really say to her, which leads me to your question.
Yeah.
You know, about her dating. I mean, I don't consider her dating because she ain't introduced me to nobody as a boyfriend.
I wouldn't
either.
I'm not gonna lie.
Can you imagine? You want to come on meet my dad? Who's your dad? No.
You never asked her, like, I want to
saying.
meet him?
I mean, I told her, you know, that's how I know you serious about it. Right now, you just bullshit.
It's on the gram.
You just bullshit. So that's still bullshit.
I
believe it when it make it home. You know what I mean? And shit ain't made it home, so you know. Who knows? You know, these crazy kids.
What's that gonna be like?
But I just, you know what I'm saying? Just as long as, you know, he understand. I think there's kind of like a silent understanding, an unspoken rule of respect. And as long as that's maintained, we ain't gonna have no problem.
So you know these young kids that we saw, like as they grew up, like seeing Reginae with Lil Wayne and wife and Lucci together at his birthday party. I was like, one day T.I. gonna be at a birthday party with his daughter and her boyfriend.
I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's gonna happen. As long as the safety and honor and respect of my daughter is maintained, anything's possible.
Would you let her date a rapper?
I ain't got no business. I ain't let nobody date nobody. How can I let? You know what I mean? You can't stop love. I can't let nobody do nothing. I will make sure she understands all of the ramifications that come with her decisions.
All right.
You know what I mean? That's all I can do.
It's amazing how as a daddy, you can just tell the energy just drains out of you.
You start talking about that shit.
I ain't fly at all. Well, you see, I guess we're gonna have to do what we're gonna have to do. Cross that bridge when we get to it, Charlamagne. Now, we can move on, please. I button my top button here.
We had Tiny and Escape up here.
Yeah.
Did you give her any advice about the group? Because that group looks like it's about a second
That
away
shit ain't gonna last.
from fighting. Like they look like
They've always been a second away from fighting. What are you talking about?
Really?
Yeah.
That's the dynamic.
That's just that's what keep them. You know, that's how they relate. Because they all women and their friends are a second away from fighting, so they understand it. This is why the music sounds so good. Don't take that away.
Yeah, we hope for the best for that.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on, man. They fight and they get over it and they get back together and make great music again. Come on, man. I'm not fazed by any of this. You know what I mean? This has been going on. I am proud of them for getting this far. You know what I'm saying? They got through 2 whole tours, I think. You know what I'm saying? They did a whole album and they've been doing good. I'm not gonna be critical of them. I'm just gonna keep them lifted up in prayer.
What album was they on when you met your wife?
What you mean?
What album was they on?
They was on hiatus. She had just wrote No Scrubs.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah, they were on hiatus at the time. I don't think they weren't getting along.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Y'all going back to reality TV, right?
What you mean?
I heard y'all doing another season of the.
That was last.
Yeah, we doing something. We're doing something totally new. We're doing something totally new. We're not doing
talk
Family
show you
House.
guys were supposed to do at first.
Nah, it wasn't no talk show.
I remember you said you guys might when you were up here one time.
Yeah, well, that was an idea. That was an idea.
So it's not Family Hustle.
Nah, it's not Family Hustle.
But it involves the family.
It involves, you know, our family. It also involves Monica's family. It also involves Toya's family and LaToya Luckett and her family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Does Lil Duval have the Grand Hustle imprint on his album, or what's going on with this guy?
I mean, Lil Duval, that's his own label. You know what I'm saying? We just like real strong supporters of Duval. That's family. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't really trying to make no money off of him. You know, I'm happy to see him get it. I'm happy to see him make it.
He fucked around and got a hit record.
Yeah, you know. I think Duval willed that shit into his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the law of attraction like a motherfucker. You dig what I'm saying? He kept that shit so silent with not giving a fuck that it started to give a fuck about him. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a blessing. That's a blessing. It definitely is.
They was talking about this, you said you settled a bill with a jeweler or something?
I didn't sell a shit. I didn't sell a motherfucking thing. He sued and lost.
Oh.
You settled a motherfucking thing. Shit, this shit settled in my book. It was settled a long time ago. Shit. I knew good goddamn well I ain't owe that nigga that motherfucking money. It settled a long time ago. I don't just walk off on no debt, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you see by me being sued, I obviously am in dispute about whether or not I owe you this. And if I do owe you, I might not feel I owe you as much as you say I owe you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I might have tried to pay you, and then you goddamn, you did some weird shit, and then I stopped talking to you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't still owe you what you said just because you say I owed you.
Oh, so you ain't had to pay him nothing?
I ain't pay him nothing.
Oh, okay.
I paid my lawyer. It was just about as much, but
You like, I'd rather pay my lawyer though.
yeah, I'd rather pay my lawyer. There's principle about it for me.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah, that's all you want to talk about.
No, I knew that was out there, so I just, let me ask him, throwaway question.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
I enjoy hearing you and Meek Mill on the album together. I heard
Right on.
That was dope. That record's
and the
dope.
video.
Thank you. I mean, man, shit, Meek fam. Everybody who I work with on this project, man, I have a personal relationship with.
Yo Gotti, Young
Yeah,
Thug.
yeah.
I mean, Meek was Grand Hustle at one point.
Yeah,
Way back when.
yeah. That was another one of the things that prison cost me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that tab's still running. I don't
Yeah,
even know
that
how
tab
much
is still
you
going
know
on.
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Shit. That motherfucking register ain't even hit ding yet, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, everybody who I worked with on this album, man, you know what I'm saying? This somebody I'm personally acquainted with, somebody who I could pick up the phone and call and make a request, and you know what I'm saying, and it get handled. And I feel good about that because that means that the project is much more personal to me.
Any other artists you lost besides Meek during the whole thing that you should have signed and didn't?
I mean, not necessarily prison, but just I guess the oblivion of my success. You know what I'm saying? I feel like success. If you get enough of it, it's like a deep sleep.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You know how when you sleep, that motherfucker talking to you and you nod your head, yeah, but you don't really know what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's how success is sometimes. And during the deep sleep of my success, let me see, I passed on Drake.
Drake?
Yeah.
A lot of people
What
passed
made you
on
pass?
Drake,
What
though,
made
I
you
will
pass on
say.
Drake? What didn't you hear, or what didn't? What?
You know,
You were sleeping.
it was Drake before the beard. You know what I'm saying? It was like barefaced Drake.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? And it just hadn't caught all the way up yet. And that type of music, that sound of music, the emo sound, it wasn't necessarily prevalent at the time. So I didn't see the curve. I never thought, just like I didn't think skinny jeans was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't see the curve. So that one got by me.
Is that why he was in Atlanta that time when he allegedly got peed on?
I don't
That
know.
an event of yours?
Whoa,
You mean on the plane? He got peed on the-
wait a minute.
Oh, was it-
What are we doing?
What
are we doing?
Goodness gracious.
Hold up, cuz. I have no recollection. I cannot confirm nor deny anything. Let's move on to the next
Well,
question.
shout out to Tokyo Jets, by the way, and congratulations on that project. She did a
Man,
great job
yeah.
with that.
Phenomenal. Her and
Right
I
on.
always say T.I. got the two best young artists in the game right now, Trans Lee and Tokyo Jet.
Yeah. I mean, then, you got Ra too, man. He dope as hell, man, And I think Dro gonna gear up for some, man, pretty soon. He sent me some records that was dope. But yeah, Tokyo Jet's burning it up right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Her project just dropped Bonafide on all platforms. Go get it, by the way. And Trans Lee just put out Freedom Summer.
Love that. That's actually a
super
sleeper
dope.
project of the
That's
year.
super dope.
If somebody asks me what's my favorite project of the year, I'm putting that in probably like my top 5, top
Word.
10. Absolutely.
It's dope. It's dope. I feel like it got a good vibe to it. And it's the kind of music, it's the kind of music that, you can actually listen to in public.
Oh,
Some of the shit
100%.
you can't listen to
In public.
Some of the shit you can't listen to in public. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't get dead. I wouldn't be caught dead, bro, with my window down playing some of this shit. But people can see me listening to it. You dig what I'm saying?
Most of the shit from
I listen to it, but I ain't finna let people see me listen to it. You know what I mean?
That's hilarious.
People say most of the shit from the South, though.
What's that?
They'll say most of it is from the South.
Most of what?
The stuff that they call quote-unquote BS.
Nah, man. I think that shit is universal.
Yeah.
Yeah, bullshit is universal. But bullshit has always been universal,
But
man.
the people imitate the South so much now, though, so you really can't tell who coming from where.
I mean, they say goddamn imitation is the finest form of flattery.
Absolutely.
So, you know what I'm saying? You just take that as a W. I mean, I'm very, very proud of a lot of the music that exists in this generation and in the culture and in the South. You know what I'm saying? I think that, the South birthed J. Cole.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? It also birthed T.I., birthed Lil Wayne. you know what I'm saying? Rick Ross. You know, so many of us that, you know what I'm saying? Scarface definitely, 3000, Bun B, Pimp C, Big Boy. You know what I mean? So many of us that it's an amoeba of talent. You know what I'm saying? You can't put us into no box in no way, shape, form, or fashion. It's hard to say, hey, you know, the South sound like this. The South sound like everything, to be honest with you. We're doing it all. We're doing everything better than you. You know what I mean? So I hate to put that kind of stigma on Southern music because I feel like it's paved the way for music and culture as we know it today.
Who you think had a better run? Because I argue about this all the time. New York in the 90s, down south from the early 2000s till now because it's still going.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I think the only thing we don't know about the South is when the run will end, so it's not a fair comparison.
It's still going on.
Yeah, so that's the only thing we can't really compare.
What did you think about Bill Cosby getting sentenced 3 to 10? What did you think about that with so many
mixed emotions?
People who've been accused from rape getting probation or getting 3 months.
Mixed emotions. I think, man, accountability is very important. I think for the pain that's associated with the victims. But I also feel that equality and you know, being the same way for him as you is for everybody else is very important. I don't think that, like, you know, you got old white men playing with kids and they get 90 days. You dig? So what about that victim? You know what I'm saying? What about that man being held accountable? You got that little guy who was in college who raped that girl.
Brock Turner.
Yeah.
Brock Turner, yeah.
And how much time he get?
3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, another 90 days. You know what I'm saying? What about that victim's pain? And what about his accountability? So you can't just pick and choose who you're going to hold accountable. That's my true feeling. And that's not saying that I wanted him to get less time. I just wanted them to get more time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, just all the way across the board. It'll make we be able to cope with it and wrap our minds around it and really like we could feel better about it if it was fair practice and even to all of the other sentences that were going out that were comparable to his. And his shit happened like way years ago. This shit here was fresh. You know what I mean? These fresh charges, fresh cases that's getting 90 days, whereas you charging him at 3 to 10.
Where the evidence is right there. They done pulled you off of somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
saw you committing a crime.
You dig what I'm saying?
Saw you assaulting someone.
You see, and I always felt funny about the whole Bill Cosby shit because, you know, like, you know, they were taking his honorary degrees away and, you know, disassociating themselves from him. But no, I ain't hear nobody give no money back that he gave. I ain't hear nobody say, you know what, you can have all the money you gave back. We don't want it. We don't want to be associated with it. I didn't hear none of that happen. But I saw all the things that they took. See, I don't understand how that.
Well, Felicia Rashad said something that was real. She said it's not about the victims in this case. She said it's more about them destroying a legacy.
Yeah.
She said that's what she feels like the agenda was.
Yeah, I can see that. You know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? America got a way of trying to keep niggas in their place.
Is he an example of getting too big? Because I want to go back to that, what you said about Kev, because
indubitably.
But
that is unequivocally what the fuck I'm saying.
But let's be clear, some of these charges against Bill Cosby are decades old. It's not like it all just came up. Even
I don't want to justify, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to
just
like
everything they brought up from the deposition is old.
But then, you know, another thing is, I think the one lady who goddamn had the charge, they said that, like, you know, she used him for references on her job applications. You know what I'm saying? And like he paid her way through college, and like that sounds like a relationship.
I think they had a settlement.
Yeah, that was afterwards. That was afterwards. So the person pay your way through college. You visit his house 14 times. You know what I'm saying? You use them as references. I'm like, who uses their rapist as a reference?
That's a fact.
Who uses their rapist as a reference? That to me sounds like a relationship. Yeah, I mean, just to me. Not to say who did what, but just looking at what I see on paper,
it's hard to say because even people who work for people, right, they might have a case where they were sexually assaulted, but they continue to work there because that person is in a position of power over them, and sometimes it's a mental thing too. and people feel like a Stockholm syndrome.
Guess what? That would be something that I fail to understand. And
I think it's
I'll
hard
never make an attempt to understand it. I will just detail it, note it, and also take note of the fact that I'm saying I don't understand that shit.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? That's it. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. It's not my place.
You just don't
Not my
understand
place.
it.
I just don't understand that shit.
I want to understand this getting too big thing. Did you feel like you was getting too big?
I feel like I kind of went crazy a little bit.
Okay.
I went crazy a little bit. You know what I mean? After that shootout in Cincinnati, I kind of lost it. And there was a lot of other shit that was going on in my life at the time where I was, you know.
PTSD.
Yeah, it was PTSD.
People
and
wanted to kill you in Atlanta.
Yeah, we were having real shootouts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like it was some real like body snatcher home invasion shit going on in the city at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my name came up on the list. My name and address came up on the list.
Wasn't it the refugees from New Orleans or something?
I don't know who did what.
Damn,
you know,
Sean.
I don't know.
I don't know,
I don't
man.
know
Hell?
I don't know who or what.
Yeah.
But it was real.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? And I wasn't going. So, you know.
Did Damani press you to be on this album?
Nah, man, Damani ain't even interested in doing music with me.
Really?
He want to do music with you.
Nah, he don't want to do no music with me. I mean, he was there. He was kind of like an A&R, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he definitely. And my other son, Messiah, he produced on the record.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Which one did he produce?
It's called Light Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Do you pay him?
yeah, I actually did.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did he ask for? Did you tell him how much you were
Was it
giving,
full
or did you have
price?
a
We
rate?
negotiated a fair rate. giving
What's the daddy rate?
giving this was his second placement. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think I gave him 10,000.
Oh, that's
That's
not
a
bad.
lot for
That's
a second
actually a
placement.
lot.
Yeah,
And
that's
his
great for a
publishing,
second
right? He gets to
placement.
keep his publishing.
He negotiated it. You know, I started at 5. You know what I mean? But no, it was dope though. It was a dope record, and I did it like I negotiated with him kind of like if I got this same beat from somebody else, what would I be willing to pay for it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like it was a dope beat.
Mm-hmm.
It was a dope beat.
So how's it?
But I'm still on an independent budget though. You know what I'm saying, son? So don't get carried away.
As an A&R, what was Damani telling you about the music? Did he ever say, "Nah, you shouldn't put this on the album," or rewrite that?
I mean, man, there were songs that didn't make the project that he felt like, you know, they were good, but just weren't cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
You dig? I mean, you know what I'm saying? We have a brain trust of sorts. Where we kind of like, I record maybe 100-some songs. We'll get everybody in the studio and just play and see which ones stick. And then we get the sequence and projects, the project, like different versions. Like, okay, if we put these 15 songs together, we just see which ones stick.
Mm-hmm.
I got another record. I got another album already ready.
Damn.
I got a couple of them
Good
already.
to see you still rocking the rubber band too, man.
Yeah, man, some things never change. Old habits die hard, man. Old habits die hard.
Does it make you feel it's like a security blanket of sorts?
Nah, man, not really, man. It's just,
He just took it off some money.
yeah, it's fashion. And, you know, utility, man. It's art, man. Shit is art. You dig? But I mean, I appreciate y'all, man, all the support y'all been giving. Not just
T.I.
me,
way of
but-
saying I need to get the fuck
Exactly.
up out of
He's
here.
like, all right, let's
I done
wrap
kicked
it
enough
up.
game with y'all for the
Nah,
day.
man.
All right.
No, not really. You know what? Look, though, man, this is actually an enjoyable discussion, man. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good to be able, and your 10th album, this shit flows so much smoother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So much less anxiety. You know what I mean? It's good to just come in there, motherfucker, man, and put on and, you know, distribute your art, you know, share your thoughts with people.
But your interviews,
And then walk right out, unconsequentially.
but
know
you
what
got
I'm
such a
saying?
history now that it's hard. You know, the interviews can get longer and longer because there's so much stuff you can be asked.
Man, continue to talk about things that have potential to make me money.
I do want my final question is, what is your advice for Camden if he's getting too big?
I mean, I think that Kev, for one, man, he just pull back. You know what I'm saying? I think, but not to say, but for one, he ain't doing nothing wrong.
right?
Yeah.
He ain't doing nothing wrong. First, you got to figure out whether or not he gives a fuck. You know, he has to care in order to do something about it. So if he don't care, it's like, man, I ain't did nothing wrong. I'm gonna continue to get big as I can and fuck you. No, he reserved that right to do that.
Yeah.
He seems very comfortable.
You know what I
Very
mean?
comfortable.
So
himself.
it ain't really shit for him to do.
And y'all got a TV show together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Showtime.
Yeah, we you know, we gonna do it on Laugh Out Loud.
Oh, okay. The scripted joint?
On his
Yeah.
network.
Oh, wow.
The,
Okay.
the visions didn't necessarily align on Showtime.
Yeah. Okay. True.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing, man. I think Kevin is so genuine to himself that he don't really give a fuck about appeasing the pockets of people who may frown upon his success.
Right.
So let him continue to. I say as long as he keep winning. Hey, whatever nigga doing to keep him from breaking in my house. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, man.
Kevin ain't breaking in your house.
No,
They
no, I'm
probably
not saying,
wasn't real.
not just him.
Oh.
I'm talking about anybody. That's how, like, you know, everybody has so many opinions on people. Oh, they doing it, they do whatever that motherfucker doing, keeping them from breaking in my house.
That's real.
There you go.
I support that.
And I think it's great that he also helps other up-and-coming comedians, too, with his LOL network. I
Sure.
think that's what you do. You keep on
And Kevin's
doing
a great guy, man.
Great guy. Great
Kevin's a
individual.
great guy, man. Kevin's a great guy. I'm not in the comedian beef. I'm not in the, you know, I like all of the people who happen to be in the beef. I like all of them, everybody. You know, but for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? I think we all have to goddamn figure out how to coexist.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody ain't gonna have the same outlook on things. Everybody ain't gonna agree with each other. Everybody ain't gonna, you know, want to spend time around you. But just coexist, man. We share the motherfucking planet. We share the culture. We share, you know, we share things. So I think, you know, just implement a certain level of respect so we can coexist. And, you know, everybody should be happy. But that's a perfect world.
Yeah.
That's a perfect world. You know, in this world, we're going to have to fight it out. Figure out who's right. Fight to the death to see who was correct.
Only could be
That
number
sounded-
one.
That actually sounded like some good advice to your younger self, what you're just saying now, that we all have to coexist.
Yeah, man, my younger self, man, the shit don't really matter, man. Like, for real. The shit don't really matter. Once you get older and you go through shit that really do matter, you see that shit don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? But have you heard the album yet?
No,
No, man.
We have
Why ain't
3
nobody
songs
telling
on
me?
the
I'm like, why you ain't
album.
send the album?
Oh, man.
The 3 songs that
shit.
were released. We heard the Meek Mill song, the Yo Gotti
gotta
one,
get
Ray,
y'all-
Thug Joint
and we heard
Weekend.
Young Thug.
Man, I got to get y'all some material. That's what we need to do, man. Next time, we need to, you know, take some time.
We tried.
I said that
We
this
tried.
morning.
We
I was
tried
like,
to get the
why
album
is
ahead
T.I.
of
coming in?
time.
We
We
ain't heard the
tried.
album. He didn't.
Well, shit, man, I play the motherfucker for you right now.
I'm
You know
with
what I'm
it.
saying?
Is the movie going to drop with it still?
Nah,
Okay.
I couldn't get the movie. That's the thing, man. I was waiting so long on trying to get the movie correct that I ain't get a chance to put it out sooner. This shit should have been out ages ago.
Got you.
But all things happen in God's divine order.
Word.
Well, we appreciate you for joining us.
Man, appreciate y'all.
Dime
hey,
Trap.
man, y'all do know October 5th is the Dime Trap date, man. You know, I don't know if I, you know, officially put that. I kept it a secret from myself so long.
Okay.
October
You know what I'm
5th.
saying? I forgot when the fuck it was coming
Friday.
out.
That's Friday.
That's Friday. You dig?
And we thank you for joining us. It's T.I. Well, she's telling you something. What? Say it.
But they get the motherfucker come out tomorrow.
You can pre-order right now. All right, there you go. It's The Breakfast Club. It's T.I.
Yeah.